And
has that been has this dislike been exacerbated also by the scrapping of the indigene settler dichotomy?
Yes, this is another thing that many people don't like, because as I said, people in Kaduna State have learned that the way to get ahead, even in this public service, is to use your ethnicity. We said no. This state, this city was a cosmopolitan center of northern Nigeria and Nigeria. There are many military officers from every part of Nigeria that prefer to retire in Kaduna, because most of them, went through Nigerian Defense Academy,
Which
to
is
Jaji,
also here. All these institutions are here.
This is where many of them had their first girlfriend, drank their first bottle of Coca-Cola or beer, and they have fond memories of Kaduna. Kaduna was everybody's home. And all of a sudden, people have come and divided it, and we said no. We will not accept, we will never in any form in Kaduna State government ask you for your tribe or your religion or state of indigenship and so on. We stopped that. We said anyone that lives in Kaduna, works in Kaduna, pays taxes in Kaduna, is a citizen of Kaduna State, which is what the Constitution recognizes. The Constitution recognizes only citizens. It doesn't recognize indigens or settlers. And a state like Kaduna that has gone through so much blood and destruction because of these ethnic and religious differences ought to start de-emphasizing it. And that's what we've been working on. Have we succeeded? No. It's still work in progress, but we have started putting solid foundations for that. And we are very proud of the progress we've achieved.
I'll take you to your party and party politics. It goes without saying, of course, that you are the APC candidate for governorship in 2019's elections. Party primaries, not just of the APC, I mean, even of new parties, became rancorous, difficult, and some of the parties are still dealing with the fallout of the primaries, even though the elections are very close. You, in fact, are in a reconciliation committee for the Southwest.
Yes.
Now, I want to know from you if you think that, because in the process of this, a lot of people carpeted the national chairman of the APC for being the architect of some of what had become the problem. And that, in fact, if the people who initially proposed that there shouldn't have been any convention until after the general elections, way back then, may now be saying, we told you that this would be the results. But this has taken place. Now, in the aftermath of it, what do you make of what has happened with the primaries? I mean, here in Kaduna, it was also particularly rancorous with some of the people you already mentioned earlier on in the interview. But as a broader point, the ruling party, the APC, what do you make of the primaries that happened? Of course, I must put on record, you've made clear that you're a Buharist. So for our viewers to know exactly where you stand on that point.
Yes.
But in terms of the primaries, what did you make of what happened?
Well, I am one of the governors that canvassed for the continuation of John Oyegun as chairman of the party. And when we're looking at options, one of the options was the one we mentioned. Why don't we defer by one? Because we know that congresses and convention and primaries all have after effects. And you have to manage those after effects. And the timetable we had was such that the timelines were very tight. And we thought we will not have enough adequate and enough time for reconciliation. Because whenever you do congresses, people lose out. You don't want them to leave the party. You want to bring them on board. So you need some time to, calm ruffled feathers and so on and so forth. And we thought we didn't have the time looking at our next timetable. This was why some of us canvassed that. But when the president, on the advice of the Attorney General, said, no, we have to have elections, we said, fine. We still wanted Oyegun to continue because he was a soft hand that has handled the party in the previous 4 years and delivered victory. And we thought should just continue. Just as in Kaduna State, I felt that the party leadership should just continue, okay? But what happened, and we had to do congresses. Shortly after congresses, before we could calm the ruffled feathers from congresses, we had to go to convention. That had its own unintended consequences, and then primaries. Now we are trying to do reconciliation, but in many states, there is so much bitterness and anger that my hope and prayer is that our reconciliation efforts will work. Of course, many are angry at the chairman of the party. They blame everything on him. But I think it takes two to tango.
Final question, again from the accidental public servant.
Yes.
You said President Obasanjo called you and he gave you a lesson in leadership. And this issue about being smart. I'm happy you referred to the issue about being smart. I'm not sure I need to remind you of what you said he said then about looking smart, talking smart, and how he was.
Yes.
I use that as a background to ask this question. That lesson of that day, now that you're governor, did it come in handy?
I'm not sure it did. I do not think that a person can substantially change his nature after the age of 18. I'm who I am, okay? I'm who I am. I don't pretend. And I think that with all my weaknesses that President Obasanjo may have observed, I think I've done pretty well. I'm okay. I'm quite comfortable in my skin about who I am and what I am. And as for, lying low, pretending to be what I'm not for any future aspiration, I'm not like that. I don't plan the future. I just do the job that I am given or I have found myself in to the best of my ability. The future will take care of itself and God is there. For me, power, wealth, blessings are all from God, and He decides who He gives and when He gives. It is not how clever you are or how well you strategize or how you lie low or pretend that will get you to where you want to be or where you aspire to be. I think 90% of what I've been in my life are as a result of luck and the blessings of God. I do my best as a human being, and I'm grateful to the Almighty God that He has given me good health and some ability, and I do my best. But beyond that, I think the rest is up to God, and I don't worry about it. I'm governor of Kaduna State today. Many people told me when I wrote The Accidental Public Servant that nobody in Nigeria writes a book like that. You don't kiss and tell in Nigerian public service. You lie low until you get another chance. Writing a book like that, telling all, will make people not trust you. You will never have a public life again and so on. But a few years later, here I am. So it is not what you plan. It is not how clever you are. It is really how God wishes things to be. You can only do your best as a mortal, as a human being. And that's what I try to do all the time.
Your Excellency, it's been our pleasure. Thank you very much for agreeing to speak to us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.